Gaze financial advisor. Dropping beats that'll make you go higher. I got 808s with metal undertones. Gonna school you about crypto, make you take loans. Stacking stacks, yeah, that's the goal. Invest in the crypto, watch it all unfold. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, more. I'm diversifying portfolios like never before. Cryptocurrency got the game in a frenzy. Financial literacy, that's the key to plenty. I'm spitting knowledge, making moves that count. And turning stacks into millions, no doubt.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray De Niro here, back at it again for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. First and foremost, we got to get the housekeeping done. We got to give a shout out to sponsor of the show on the platform, Delta Investment Tracker app. If you guys have not tapped in with the Delta Investment Tracker app, I've got a link to that down in the description of the video. I don't get anything from that. The stuff that I do get stuff from, it's clearly documented. There's some stuff that I get a little bit of a kickback from. For instance, I am a Ledger affiliate. I do use Ledger myself as my cold storage. Another product that I highly recommend. But that Delta Investment Tracker app specifically, which I also use personally, is just letting them know that you found them via my channel, which is appreciated. Also appreciated if you smash that like button on your way in. If it's your first time catching the content, definitely give us a listen, give us a check out. Go look through some of the older videos where I go through the building and management of my portfolios in the years prior. Get yourself caught up. If you find value in it, definitely catch that subscribe. Definitely feel free to share the video. With that said, let's jump right into it. The markets are ugly. The streets are running awash with red. The streets are running red. Across the board, though. I mean, it's not just in the crypto space. It's market-wide. There's a lot of volatility, a lot of macroeconomic events that are going on right now. And we just kind of, we're riding the waves. These are the buying opportunities, though, which is very counterintuitive. It's so counterintuitive because when everything's going crazy and, stuff's going up, that's when everybody wants to buy because it's fun. You get to talk about the gains that you made, the profits you made and or are making. But realistically, the massive gains, the massive profits are made during times like right now when everyone's running out of the market, when everyone is fleeing to safety, when everyone is scared to invest. I don't want to put my money in that. It might go down tomorrow. It's tough, and it's across the market, but we're talking specifically over here on this show on the crypto space, which is even harder because like when we go down, we crash down. It is a jarring experience, which is why I tell people, don't invest with money that you can't afford to lose, even though I will admit I am well overexposed into crypto. I am over 85% of my portfolio easily is cryptocurrency. That's most of my net worth. My net worth fluctuates. I am used to it. I've been doing this for over a decade. That is where I choose to put my money. Could I afford to lose it all? I could rebuild it, but it would hurt a great deal. So do as I say, not as I do. I hate to sound like everyone's parent right now, but honestly, I'm never putting the rent money in. B, I have set myself up in a circumstance to where I have a little bit more money than the average person to invest. I'm in a space where I can afford to take some risks, and I am taking those risks to move forward, and I'm swinging big. Like if you believe in something, then the best time to buy is when there's blood in the streets, even if that blood is your own. So I'm always buying. I have a Bitcoin standard that I've implemented within my personal finance, my existence. And yeah, it's just one of those things. It's harder to look into these situations the way that they are right now when the markets are bad. It's harder to put your hard-earned money into the market, but that's when you get the most reward. When Bitcoin is over 6 figures, and it will be, and everyone's flooding into the market, those of us who are buying now, those of us who are buying pre-now, because even still, my Bitcoin allocation, my Bitcoin part of my portfolio is nowhere near red. It's all green because I'm a long-term investor. I've been buying consistently for over 10 years. The first, when I hit my 1 Bitcoin target initially, before all of that was done at under probably about 20,000. I'd say within that realm, but like the dollar cost average on it is, well, it's probably around 15, something like that. That's just ballparking because of when I was buying the bulk of that first Bitcoin. And then the rest of it, it's just cake after that. So I'm nowhere near red. So like I'm not under on that holding. Now, the portfolio that we currently have of the stuff that we've made within this last calendar year, yes, we are very red on that part of the portfolio. But the Bitcoin part of the portfolio, I've had my Bitcoin for a long time. And I'm consistently still buying. Even right now, like every time I get paid, that Bitcoin standard kicks in, a certain allocation goes into buying just Bitcoin. And we just keep moving from there. It's not something that I think about. I do look at it multiple times a day. I'll check the markets normally around lunch. I check it first thing in the morning. I've dialed back. I used to be obsessively looking at it. And then now that I've got the traditional financial portfolio and I've kind of shifted a lot of my focus over into getting that income stream built up so that we can buy more Bitcoin at a faster clip, I'm at a point now to where the way that I'm looking at things, like I don't need to be staring at it constantly. Now, my traditional finance portfolio, the one that's actively managed, actually current during this dip, I don't have to look at it anymore either because it's not going up enough to hit any of the metrics to where I have to sell anything off. So normally take a look in the morning, take a look at lunch, take a look at the end of the day before I leave work. And that's about my involvement. I'll look at some after and pre-markets, like obviously in the morning. Bitcoin, crypto never turns off. So those are still active markets, but there's nothing I don't have positions that are anywhere close. Like we haven't started the bull run yet. So I don't have positions right now that require me to constantly be monitoring the market, which is good. It's good for your mental health to go out and touch grass, focus on what you're doing. But on that same note, I'm trying to make some shifts and some moves and some pivots and some alterations to get myself in a position to where within the next 2 years, I can be at work optional. That's my goal. 2 years or less. And, work optional, I honestly might be at a point where I want to take a few months off. Like, to be honest, like just thinking about the way that things are going with the downtime and then going back to work and just the stress, the load of it, the not having the final say, like there's just a bunch of stuff that's going on that obviously I'm using every tool at my disposal. And I feel like crypto is going to be a big portion of that in regards to helping move those positions forward. A lot of it's going to be focused on my income portfolio because that's the important part, is being able to pay all the bills and stuff. You're going to take a month or so off. Got to be able to cover what you're doing. But that aside, we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna talk about it because we're still buying, we're still moving, we still done some consolidation. Let's talk about what's going on. So I'm gonna bring to the screen the couple of beginning points. First and foremost, shout out to CoinGecko, which is what we're using to get our couple of metrics as of this recording, Sunday, September 8th at 3:23 p.m. You guys will be getting this on Wednesday, general population. I'll be talking about some new stuff that we're going to be doing if you want to get access to the videos sooner and or be a part of a live studio recording or live stream of the recording of the episodes, because I am getting ready to start doing that. And we'll have that going on here sooner rather than later. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the current metrics. What we got? We've got Bitcoin dominance at 53.3%, ETH dominance at 13.6%, with gas fees down to an abysmal 0.87. I will just say 0.88. We're going to round up, which means that Ethereum, this is the first time we're going into the bull run. Ethereum is super usable, people. Super usable. I've been making some trades on it. We're getting ready to start with the dollar cost averaging. We're getting ready to start looking at getting some more into some positions that we've got. I'm excited about it. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a great thing. ETH is usable. If you've got positions that you want to get that are on Ethereum mainnet, now is the time to get those positions. You don't have to be spending thousands or hundreds of dollars to make this affordable. Like, honestly, you can get by, you can skirt by doing sub $100 trades right now, which means you can get in positions $50. It might be worth it because it's only going to be a buck or two. Transactions are only going to be a couple of dollars, if that. Time to make moves is now, people. That said, let's talk about the top trending coins. At number 1, we've got Simon's Cat. At number 2, we have Apes. At number 3, we have Jinan the Cat. You know what I like about crypto, people? I like that everybody in crypto loves cats, because I'm normally the only person who likes cats. You guys will see me on the live stream every once in a while. My cats will jump up on the counters. You'll see me on panels. Cats will jump up to say what's up. Everybody in crypto seems to like cats. There's just more cat coins than anything. It's cats or apes. It's just what it is. It's a cat or a simian. And I like simians as well. But people like cats, and it makes me feel good. It's kind of like, this is a home to me. I've been in crypto for over a decade. I like cats. Now everybody loves cats in crypto. All the crazy cat people are here. It is wonderful. Be careful with the meme coins. I mean, it's what it is. Everybody's looking to get rich tomorrow, and I understand there's a lot of desperation out there. I tell people all the time, even with me being in this space, my time scales are on 5 years and 10 years. Like I'm normally, I'll track metrics over the years, but I'm my windows now that I've been here long enough are 5 years and 10 years. 5 years being the shorter long-term goals, and then you can break that down into what you need to get done every year to get to those goals, and then the decades being the overarching, you should be at a different plateau. 10 years ago, I was at a different mountain than I am now, and I got to the top of that mountain and started climbing the next one. I'm currently in the middle of the next climb. We just crossed over, just turned 40. Just crossing over into the next level, and like the plateaus that I've gone through, like now I am working towards not having to go to work. And it's not necessarily about being rich or how much income you're making, because like those things, I mean, do matter to a certain extent, but the questions you have to ask yourself is, what do you need to not have to go to that job that you hate? What do you need to not have to do stuff you don't want to do to keep the roof on over your head and the lights on? What are those numbers? Because those numbers are very different from the numbers that people think they're going to be. And, definitely tap in. For those of you who catch the Thursday show, Future Financial Strategies, we're going to be talking about exactly that. That's what we're talking about. So the next episode tomorrow, so you're going to catch, I'm going to be with you guys on Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Thursday, definitely tap in on that conversation, because it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a pivotal one. And, if I've got the time, I might do a live stream on it. we might go ahead and get that Guns and Butters back up and running. But yeah, so we don't want to. This is a personal, money is a personal thing. You can't listen to these gurus telling you what they believe that you need to have based on what they're doing and how they're choosing to navigate. Because most of them are choosing to do what's right for them. You're not living their life. You don't go to sleep in their bed. When you pass away or expire from this world, you're not going in their pine box. But everybody's going into a pine box or an urn. And those are things that you need to think of. You've got to talk about your personal financial journey and what it takes for you personally to get out of the rat race. Because once you get to that point, you can start doing exactly what you want to do. And myself included, because like right now, I'm very much I'm doing what I have to do space. Even though I get to do a little bit of what I want to do in that, I have a little bit of freedom in that, in the sense that I am a partner in a company versus just being an employee in a company. I do have a little bit of privilege. I got a little bit of flexibility with my schedule. But was this something when I woke up as a child? Is this what I wanted to do? Absolutely not. But it pays the bills. But now we're starting to get into a space to where I get to start working towards getting into a space where I can work on what I want to do. And I mean, honestly, for me, and I can only attest, I can only speak to the men on this one because I am a man. I don't know that most of us even think about what we want to do most of the time. Like what we would actually want to do to contribute to society or contribute to this world. I don't even think we get to think about that most of the time, because like we have to do what we have to do to provide for ourselves and our families, and it's a thankless job. And I understand there's plenty of single mothers out there that are in the same boat. Like you out here basically having to do what men do because you're on your own. You got a family as well, so you got to provide. And a question, and I would say the one thing that I think is a little bit different for men to women, and we'll probably have to put this on live stream too. Let me write that down. What we want to do versus what we have to do. Okay, so I got that one down. Okay. Because, yeah, that's definitely going to be a live stream. That's an interesting one, too. But one of the things I would say is the difference is I see a lot of women posturing that stuff that they have to do, they kind of work it in their heads to make it something that they want to do, which is actually beneficial, honestly. Like, I wish to God that I could just meld what I have to do and make myself go through some mental gymnastics, be like, oh, yeah, like, I want to do this, live your best life. Like, it's just not. It's just not. It's not terrible. It's not like, oh, I'm burnt out and this is just like, oh, like, no, it's just the situation isn't what I want it to be. I don't get final say. Like, I am capable of leading. I am not leading. And you got to play your position, and it's what it is. And it's just like, well, I would prefer to be in a situation where the final say is mine, to where I'm not being punished for the decisions of others that aren't decisions that I would have made and or aren't playing out in the way that those decisions were made out to be. Because when you're like final decision, like you can't get fired, you can do whatever you want, because like you could just fire everybody else if you screw up. You can blame everybody else if you screw up. You don't have to take accountability if you screw up. And like, I don't like being on the other side of that, because then the accountability rolls on you and you just got to like bite your lip. And there's just a bunch of that type of stuff I just don't jive with, which is the reason I'm like, they're like, I could go get another job, but like all jobs are basically this in some form or fashion. And I'll have less freedom and less mobility to do what I need to do to make sure that I don't have to do this indefinitely. So it's part of the reason that I consider myself a bad employee, because I see stuff for what it is. And my focus solely has been for the longest time to just get out, figure out how to get out. And like now we're starting to have some stuff come together to where we're starting to do some of that figuring. And, you know, we're trying to get out. Like, that's at least be close to the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a grind to go through life and to have to work this hard, especially for those who aren't financially literate, to see that end goal pushed so much further out. They're talking about raising the age of retirement now. Those of you who are between 20 and 40 right now, 40 in my age, the people who are older than me that are supposed to be able to retire right now, and they're looking at their 401ks and they got no money because they left it. They thought it was set and forget. They thought it was going to be passive. We don't have to do work income. Not realizing that this game isn't made for those who don't do work. People who are wealthy do work. They figure it out. They figured out the game. They figured out how to navigate within it. There's no easy ticket out unless you're just born into a family where somebody already did the work and you just get all the money. Fine, whatever. You might be able to eke along and screw it up for the people behind you, make it harder for the people behind you, but whatever, you at least got to eke along. But to these people, it's a demotivating thought process to work hard your entire existence, be old, body broken, mentally zapped, burn out, to not be able to get out of that rat race, to not even have the option. And so what we're doing over here is we're trying to make sure that we've got those options. We're trying to make sure that we're doing something that can set ourselves up and potentially a couple of generations behind us up. We're moving to where the ball's going over here. Crypto portfolio updates. I'm showing you how I'm building these portfolios. We're following it over the course of a year. You know, if we do well, we do well. We do bad, we are documenting it, full transparency. Obviously, the active portfolios, the whole goal of my active portfolio, just full disclosure, is to produce as much of a gain as possible to convert over into my long-term holdings, which at present are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. Those are my three. Now, your three doesn't have to be my three. I don't think, well, I mean, I know for a fact 2 of mine are the best coins in the market at minimum. Chainlink, we can have a discussion about, but I like it. Like, that's my thing. But Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're neither one of them are going anywhere. They're number 1 and number 2. Ethereum is the most utilized blockchain on the face of the planet. Period. That's not even up for discussion. More transactions are processed on Ethereum than any other blockchain, period. Bitcoin, digital store of value, being adopted by countries, states, jurisdictions, counties. They're using it. They're putting in the pension. We finally got our ETFs for both Bitcoin and Ethereum in the United States. They're legitimized. They're going nowhere. That's number 1. Number 2, Big Daddy, Little Daddy. It's what it is. Now, Chainlink, we can have a conversation about that. Oh, why is Chainlink there? I believe infrastructurally and in the background, it is a major player that people don't notice everything that they're involved in or everything that blockchain touches. It is also highly utilized, in my opinion. But outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, I have no be-all, end-all. And it's better just being specifically with the current narrative of performance, longevity, staying power, actual utilization by actual things in the real world. Those are my 3 chains. Now you could swap those out. You've got to have your 3, but you got to live and die by that. And so, like, for me, where I'm putting my wealth in the long-term sense of, like, I'm storing it here and I can look away and then look back a few years later and it's gone up in value and order of magnitude. Those are my 3. Specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum, because the Chainlink position is much smaller than the aforementioned. So Bitcoin, obviously, largest position I have, majority of my crypto holdings. Ethereum, second largest position I have, second majority of my crypto holdings. Chainlink is a small position. It's a few hundred tokens. Like, we're looking at, like, maybe after it's all said and done, 1,000 tokens. That's going to be a small position. Not the end of the world, not a make or break. It's just something that I want in there. I like it. It's what it is. Are we going to add to it? Maybe so, possibly. We'll see. But as it sits right now, no, we're good. I'm good with what I've got, and those are the focus points. I have other projects that I like a lot, but I'm not gung-ho and I'm not going to be holding them throughout the bull run and through the bear market. Like those will get converted to Ethereum. We've done this one time already with the portfolio, and then we'll respin out a new portfolio, and we'll see where the pieces are, because currently we are in the process of accumulating our 32 Ethereum. Well, that's a tall order. It's a tall order. So, especially considering I could have already had 32 Ethereum multiple times over. And, I just was not on the Ethereum bandwagon when the project launched. I honestly wasn't when I got into the market. I was chasing we didn't have meme coins when I started a decade ago. We had other projects that were getting hyped up with lots of publicity that were supposed to do a bunch of stuff that ended up doing what the meme coins do, except for in a slower fashion. It was a slow rug pull. Shout outs to EOS and Dan Larimer. Don't follow him or any of his projects. The guy, oh my God, lost all credibility. But, you take your licks, you keep on ticking, you actually learn about the space, and then you get your stuff right. And after that, we had some really great years. Actually, every bull run's been really great in a different way. And this bull run is going to be really great in a different way as well. And the reason that I'm on a 5-year cycle is because every single bull run that I've gone through has put me in a new financial stratosphere and a new position. Period. Every single bull run. My first bull run, cutting my teeth, learning the game. First time I ever had over 5 figures in my existence saved up, like where I could look at it and be like, oh yeah, like it's 5 figures, which doesn't sound like that much, but it was. And then the second I started off in a bull run, so that was when I was cutting my teeth, but I still got something out of that. Like I got to touch 5 figures, so then I knew what it was like. I got a taste of it. I wanted it again. Second bull run, paid off all of my debt, learned about liquidity farming, learned about passive income. That's got my ideology about the passive income that I'm focused on now on my traditional side, now that there's options. Also got myself into a house, bought a house, paid my car off. Now, obviously we're currently going to be doing another debt pay down because we had unforeseen medical expenses. But this bull run, I am without doubt that this bull run, also last bull run, this bull run so far, first time breaking 6 figures in a portfolio. Also something crazy and new to me. Another financial strata. But we're carrying a little bit of debt. But if we needed to pay everything off and cut back to the quick, which we've already made some adjustments on that. But if we needed to pay everything off, the assets are there to cover every bit of debt that I currently have right now. So I'm without doubt that like we're going to go through this bull cycle. We're going to get the debt paid down again, including the unforeseen medical expenses. That's a knowledge not for moving forward. We'll be having some strategic reserves. We'll be bolstering that moving forward. But we're at where we're at. We're managing that. Moving forward, next thing that we're going to be looking at is getting ourselves in position to get the income portfolio over on the traditional side established to a point to where we're not worrying about anything. But these bull runs, they push me. It's like a supercharger. It pushes me forward. So I'm really excited about that. Now let's jump over to the top gainers and losers, another great part of the show. On the top gainers, now this is looking like a very sideways droll. This is almost bear market-ish numbers right here, but it's sideways for the bull run, which we're in the bull run. Believe it or not, we are in the bull run, but this is what happens every time. So at number 1, we have it ranked 716, REEF, REEF, with a gain of 28.6% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, at rank 414, we have Civic, CVC, with a gain of 22.9% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have Ether Vista at rank 910, with a gain of 15.8% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, at rank 879, we have Quenta, Kwenta, at a gain of 22% in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, at number 5, we have Punk City, P at rank 728, PUNK, with a gain of 14.4% in the last 24 hours. Now, moving on, we are going over to the top losers. Hope none of you are over here, but if you're over here, this isn't that bad. These look like healthy retracements. At number 1, at rank 960, we have Crypto AI Robo, CAIR, with a gain of 23.8% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, we have, at rank 931, Nero, NEIRO, with a loss of 19% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have, at rank 527, Undead's Games, UDS, with a loss of 13% in the last 24 hours. And at number 4, at rank 535, we have FWOG. If you don't know what a FWOG is, you might want to look up some FWOG. FWOG, with a loss of 11.3% in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, at number 5, we have at rank 981, Radiant RXD, with a loss of 12.8% in the last 24 hours. Moving on to the portfolio. Now, the portfolio is looking a little bit rough right now. We are currently down 18.1%. We're under the S&P. Now, you get those windows where you just get destroyed against common stuff because our space is so volatile that, like we've got barely anything on the upside of this. Like, it's all just ugly. It looks terrible, and we're not happy about it. But we're down 18%. You got to hold that L. You got to hold your L while you're having it. But again, it's always best to buy when the streets runneth with blood, even if said blood is your own. Now, let's see here. Go ahead and switch it to this page. Actually, we can leave that out. So there we go. We figured out a better view here that gives you a little bit of the top performers. You can see the percentages that are in there before we jump into the top 10. Now, moves that we've made, obviously, we condensed down into Solana-esque things. I've got a couple of liquidity positions that I've kept. I trimmed out a bunch of the coins that were either redundant or I had an over excess of exposure to that I could restart positions and do it the way that I originally was intending to do it. And yeah, we're getting back to basics. It's getting pretty interesting. We're getting ready to start having some of those positions, because one of the things that I found out about the Camelot position that I had was, and this was something that I didn't know ahead of time, was the payouts on Camelot exchange for their liquidity pooling, which is both good and bad. It's only bad if you want access to all the money immediately, but it preserves their token price because they are paying out a good grip in their token. So what they do is, a portion of this you have to wait, and in order to get the full payout and not take the penalty on said payout, it takes 6 months for these payouts to start rolling. So a good chunk of all of the payouts that I've had from Camelot specifically, which for early on, I was on Camelot heavy. We still have one position left over there and we're going to keep riding that. But yeah, everything else we've liquidated out of that to condense down into the Solana liquidity positions or to get into the Solana ecosystem, which you will notice that our top 10 is a little bit different. There's some coins that have moved. Obviously, price fluctuation have also affected this. But that said, jumping back into the what's going on here. So like we're starting to get into the space because it's been almost 6 months since we started cashing these out. So like now we'll start having some regular payouts coming from the Camelot ecosystem, which is going to be pretty interesting to be able to move those because those will be flowing over into our Solana position plays, and or depending on size, we'll be putting them into some of our other positions that we can buy. We can buy some red on, like it's going to be, I'm excited about it. So let's go ahead and jump into this top 10. What are we looking at here? So at number 1, we've got Solana, SOL. At number 2, we have Ethereum, ETH. At number 3, we have Injective, INJ. At number 4, we have Camelot Token, GRAIL. At number 5, we have Thorwallet DEX, TGT. At number 6, we have Superverse, SUPER. At number 7, we have Jupiter Perpetuals Liquidity Provider Token, JLP. At number 8, we have Radium, RAY. At number 9, we have Wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC. And last but not least, at number 10, we have Celestia, TIA. That's what we've got. So as we start dollar cost averaging back in, because we're getting ready to start while the market's red, that's when I start prioritizing buying. So we are back on a buying spree. We are buying both in our traditional finance. We are buying also in our crypto portfolio. We're going to be retooling what those payouts are going to look like, especially for the month of September. We're getting ready to make some moves. We'll put it that way. Now, last but not least, we're bringing back another segment of the show that I've been a little bit busy, and we'd been looking through. Hold on, let me make sure that this is the right. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Yeah. So we're going to look at what we had for the last release from Delta for the crypto news update. Now, what we do with this is obviously this is going to be the too long didn't read. Going to give you my 2 cents on each of the bullet points on what happened for the week of August 12th through the 18th. This is done by Delta Investment Tracker app powered by eToro, obviously. But one of the things, I also leave the link up here so that you guys can see it. Oh no, we don't want that one. We want that one. Can we switch that? No. Okay. So one of the things that I also do is I drop the link down in here for those of you who want to follow up and read this. So like you will have a link down in the description below. Definitely start looking at the description below. I've got like a bunch of the tools that I use, a bunch of stuff that is, I believe, is of value to the people who watch this channel that are of like mind. Some stuff all this stuff is stuff that I personally use. So it'll be my referral links for things, and we'll be doing some updates to that as I add different tools to my arsenal. Now, major developments for the week of August 12th through the 18th, which is this was their last one for the end of August. So we'll see what they got because they haven't released one for September yet. So I'm sure we'll get the one for September. That's going to be the end of August, which we should be getting this week. Which will obviously these are a week behind. So this week old news, but it's going to be cool. Major developments for the week. More than 75% of Bitcoin hodled for 6 months or more. This makes total sense. I mean, I think everyone who's been in the space as long as I have, we're not selling. Like the only thing that we sell, obviously, we have a portfolio that we made that we used for we're using as a hyper accelerated savings account. That obviously will be parsed and sold off. Fair. But one of the things that I would keep in mind on that is that's a specific targeted tool. So even though that will get sold off, it will not be. I don't regularly trade Bitcoin. I don't sell out of Bitcoin. Most of the Bitcoin that I have, unless I'm using it to convert over, and at this point, we're gonna probably be grabbing another ledger here pretty soon to separate the different years, because obviously you don't want to keep all your stuff in one place. So this year's Bitcoin standard, which is currently living in my Cash App account, will be moved to a new ledger that's going to hold the Bitcoin from this year. Like now that we've hit our target for what the ledger that I originally had was supposed to have in it, we're not putting any more Bitcoin in there. Like that's just going to have that Bitcoin. And then moving forward, I think we'll probably be adding, I don't want to do it every year. I might do it like every 4 years or so. I think that's what I might do, is just add in another ledger every 4 years. And it'll be a 4-year chunk of like, hey, this is how much Bitcoin was accumulated via the Bitcoin standard that's supposed to be never being sold out off, that gets put back and just saved for later. And then eventually, I think that's the way that will work, is the long-term holdings from that 4-year window, because I haven't hit my target for, well, actually, I guess if it's going to be in staked ether position, then the Ethereum that I'm accumulating moving forward, that's not on the ledger already, will go on the new ledger also. So we'll be able to separate those out. So that way you can, as I'm ready to use them, I have those years and I'll just label them like the original whatever. And then you can, if you need to spend them, you can pop that ledger out and divvy it out as you need. Yeah, I like this idea. This is becoming a pretty good idea. So point number 2, JP Morgan, Bitcoin mining profits hit an all-time low. It's probably even lower now. Like we're probably at a new low from this. Happens every cycle. And we talk about it every cycle. So all the miners are going to quit, but for some odd reason they don't. They either become more efficient, they're working off green energy, and this is the reason that the conversation about energy expenditure when it comes to Bitcoin is a moot point, because at this point, if you're not as green as possible, then dips in the market actually put you out of business, because like now you got to pay for the energy if you're paying for energy, and equipment, and the Bitcoin price is down, so you're not getting as much as you would want. But the miners aren't shutting down. So here we are, people. Analysts remain bullish on crypto outlook despite BTC price drop. Absolutely. Because we're looking, the analysts as well as the people who are long in this market, our windows are higher. If you're looking at right now and you're worried about this month and you're worried about what's going on at this very moment, you're in a bad spot because prices are down. Those of us who are looking 10, 15 years, 20 years down the road, 5 years down the road, this is just a buying opportunity. If your window of time for how long you're going to be in an investment is long and there are dips along the way, those are the opportunities that you get to load the boat. You get to fill the bag. You get to go in and start greedily buying whatever that investment is, be it Bitcoin, be it the stock market, be it, Nvidia right now, greedy. That's something that you could get greedy with if you're going into a long-term holding portfolio. Like if you believe in the project and it's gone down, that means that you have an opportunity to get it at a discount in comparison to everyone else. U.S. Treasury Secretary's $1 trillion plan could spark Bitcoin bull run. They're getting ready to lower rates. It's going to be great for risk on assets, Bitcoin being the best risk on asset. And mind you, the best asset on the planet. So yeah, could. It's going to look good for us. NASDAQ, NYSE, pull crypto ETF. Pull crypto ETF applications. So the NASDAQ was actually trying to put in an ETF application as well. Apparently, most likely, they got the heads up that there was something wrong with the application, so they pulled it back. They'll probably resubmit at some point, or they look at it as a saturated market. Like, why would you use theirs versus BlackRock's? Why would you use theirs versus Grayscale's? Why would you use theirs versus Fidelity or anyone else that already has them approved? I don't know. I feel like late entrants, like that was a first mover deal. And the people who want to be in the market in regards to that are already in the positions that they want to be in. Like if I like it just kind of is what it is. Dubai court sets precedent with crypto salary ruling. That's right. You can get paid in crypto in Dubai now. Pretty awesome. I would like to get paid in crypto as well at some point. But until then, actually, you know what? I don't know that I would like to get paid in crypto right now. I like being able to convert over chunks of my fiat into crypto. I would not feel as well about converting over crypto into fiat. Like if I get paid in Bitcoin, it'd be great. But then you're going to be looking at capital gains potentially converting out to get into fiat to pay bills and stuff. And I don't know that I want to mess with that. Like I like getting paid in fiat, and I like immediately as I'm getting paid, as that money comes in, a chunk of it goes into Bitcoin. I like putting it there. And then I like paying off all my bills with fiat that's already there because then I don't have to worry about it. And up next, we've got Trump owns millions in Ethereum, earns 7 million plus from NFTs. Yep, he printed off those NFTs that everybody liked. Apparently a lot of trades going off on there, and he gets residuals off every single trade, which is one of the reasons why creatives that make NFTs, if you've got a platform, if you have the ability to create little digital pictures and GIFs or whatever, might be a good idea, especially if it gets traction. Get a good community, you can make a bunch of money off NFTs. So he makes a little cut off of every single NFT that's traded, period, in perpetuity, indefinitely. He gets his cut no matter what. There's no way to cut him out. So therefore, he owns millions in Ethereum. Pretty nice deal, in my opinion, if you've got a platform. Harris may extend Biden's crypto crackdown. Now, not to get political, but the Biden administration has definitely positioned itself as anti-crypto. They have definitely politicized cryptocurrency, period. Harris didn't even show up to the conference call that she set up, her segregated conference call for the cryptocurrency community. Didn't even show up to it. They obviously are not having any intent on taking the space seriously or changing or pivoting anything that they're doing at this point. And honestly, with what I've seen from the town halls and the conversations and the interviews that Harris has had, I don't even know how you could hold her to anything that she's said, because she's actively gone back and backtracked and then forward tracked and then sidestepped everything that she's said so far, down to the point of copying the policies that Trump is presenting forward. So that they don't give me an easy feeling. The Democratic Party does not give me, as a cryptocurrency holder, any type of faith in even being able to like exist in this system long term if they're the party that's in charge. Just being honest, like that does give me concerns that like you could end up in a totalitarian scenario where like they're specifically targeting specific people because they made decisions that other people didn't, and they might have a little bit more than other people do because of those decisions. And, that's not a system that I would want to live in. But, it wouldn't be surprising if we got a continuation of exactly what we've got and or making it worse under the current administration. A continuation of the current administration isn't going to be good for the citizens of this country, in my opinion. Bitcoin spot ETFs attract interest despite outflows. Price could swing in 2024. We always hear whenever they have a large outflow amount, but we never hear the corresponding inflow amounts, because a lot of times they'll be like, hey, 20 million came out of the ETFs, the crypto ETFs. Cool, 20 million came out, like $20 million worth was sold off. Okay, fair. But on that same note, they'll be like, well, 100 million came in. So technically 80 million came in, but they'll only tell you about the sale. It's a tactic that they use to scare people out of the market, or to dissuade people from getting into the market. I should say. They'll be like, oh yeah, the ETFs are losing money, but they don't tell you about any of the inflows that day, unless it's like 150 million came in, or some astronomically large number. Like on the smaller number days, they would rather tell you 20 million got sold out of the ETFs than 100 million came in. Subtract the 20 million that got sold, it's an $80 million inflow net positive day for the ETFs, but they don't want to tell you that. U.S. Marshals may sell Silk Road Bitcoin stash. They'll regret that. At these prices, they will regret that. Like, it is what it is. Bitcoin dips as gold hits $2.5 thousand milestone. Yeah, and within Windows, other assets definitely beat Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency space within small windows. 100%. Like, that's kind of okay. I got no smoke for that. You got to take your L's when you got them. Gold is performing better right now. Overall, not so. But right now in this window, if we take this small cut of time, then gold wins. Congratulations. I'm sure Peter Schiff is on X just tweeting his heart out about it. Tether's Cantor Fitzgerald CEO joins Trump's transition team. Cool. So when it's people who come from the corporate side of crypto that haven't, this is good for insight, but I don't get super excited about the TradFi people that come into bless me. That come into the end of the space, and like Tether really is like a TradFi bridge. Like, that it's great for the insight because that's an established company. They've been through the ringer with the United States, the SEC. They do all the things that they need to do. They do exactly what they set out to do. They're not lying to people. They're very transparent. I like all of that. So yeah, I'm just going to say I like it because there's not even a reason to put a butt on that. Congratulations to him. Hopefully he gives Trump the insight that he needs to make this country obviously great again, but also great for crypto and crypto holders. And it can be less contentious, and like we can just go ahead and make money, because a lot of the stuff that Tether is putting forth to move forward could potentially help bail the US out. So like, as much as they hate this space, they kind of need it. So something to think on. Vitalik Buterin donates $500,000 from animal coins to charity. People send Vitalik Buterin's wallet, because it's a doxed wallet. We all know who his wallet is. A ton of coins all the time to give themselves credibility to say that, oh, he holds this coin. Fine. But he doesn't want to hold those coins. So he sells them off and then donates the money to charity, which I think is really awesome. I understand a lot of people get bent out of shape or butthurt about it, whatever you want to say. But it's that man's money. And the fact that he could just go buy a $500,000 McMansion, mini mansion. Use that to get another sports car. He could have had multiple sports cars by now, really nice ones. Or anything else you could possibly think of that you would do with $500,000, and he donates it to charity. I think that's pretty cool. You know, like for something that you don't want, that people are getting clout off of you, that you could profit off of, he donates it to charity. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. Good on him. And then, you know, those of you who have an opinion, good on you for having your opinion. But doesn't really matter to him. He's rich and you're not, probably. So, meh. Anyways, that's going to round out this episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Again, I would invite you to hit that like button on your way out the door if you forgot to get it on your way in. And for those of you who are not subscribed, I would like to invite you to the Wolfpack personally. Come join the Wolfpack. Join us. It's great over here on our side. We have fun. Good conversations. Lastly, if you got value, someone you know will likely get value. So make sure to share that video on the way out. Until next week, people, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are out. Peace.
Money moves, gotta hustle, gotta grind. In this game, no room for the blind. Crypto's the wave, the key to the grind. Transfer that wealth, it's time to climb. Blockchain buzzing, time to make a move. Invest in the future, can't afford to lose. Learn the game, gotta play it right. On the right side, we take it flight. Punch the clock, working hard day and night. Gotta stay focused, keep that mind tight. Crypto, wealth transfer, we want it all. Rise to the top, never hit a wall. Never hit